3 just got a lot more interesting. USF, now ranked number 18, heads down to Coral Gables Saturday at 4:30 to take on the Miami Hurricanes in a big-time in-state matchup. It's 82 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time of 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Tom McManus has this Victory Monday off tomorrow as well for a charity golf tournament up in Boston. However, Aaron Beasley's in the house. We're going to break all things Jaguars beatdown of the Carolina Panthers 26-10 over the next couple of hours. But first, RJ put a lovely highlight package together. Let's hear how it sounded.
We're talking about want to establish the run for over 200 yards on the into the open field 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, in the Panthers territory 40, 35 along the left sideline. He's getting tackled at the 20-yard line. An explosive run.
I gotta get 20 more yards on that, man. We can't have that no more. We gotta finish those runs, man.
3 turnovers. 2 on down. That ball's tipped and intercepted. Fires. That ball is going to be picked off by Jordan Lewis, I believe. What a catch. It was tipped and he caught a one-handed diving interception.
We definitely played with a lot of trust today.
You talk about handling the right way as a team. Okay, you're never going to forget this one. Lightning delay. We come in together, and we come out, and we're by far the more physical team. Trevor rolls to the right, looks, fires toward the end zone, ball caught! Touchdown, Jacksonville!
It feels really good to get a win. To start your season that way, 1-0. You're going to enjoy it tonight, but we got to move on quickly and get ready for Cincinnati next week.
So much to overcome, but for right now, and what a way to seal this thing!
That's right. You heard from Liam Coen, certainly Travis Etienne, the one who I think had probably the best day when it comes to the offense. Brenton Strange would say, hey, don't forget about me too. But certainly with what Etienne did on the ground, you heard from Foye Lukin, you heard from Trevor Lawrence, and of course all of Frank's fantastic play calls. Like I said, the Jaguars defeated the Carolina Panthers 26-10 yesterday. Taylor, Aaron, it felt like this was a statement. You heard whispers all week long last week that this was a must-win game for the Jacksonville Jaguars because of the opponent and because, of course, it is the first game for the new regime. To me, yesterday, Taylor, this was not even about the Carolina Panthers. This was about who this team is, this physical, run-first offense.
Yeah, and we've had so many conversations this offseason, Bees, about how quickly the coaching alone can change things. And there was a lot of issues last year, obviously, and we're done talking about last year. You just won week 1.
Lord.
But and that was the biggest thing. How much is Liam Coen and Coach Camp going to change things? And I feel like immediately you're seeing their presence on the field and their physical. It felt like the offense. Maybe it wasn't as flashy as you want. I think those things will open up a little bit more as the season goes. But you did what you had to do to beat a team that you needed to beat and you should have beaten.
I don't think flashy is necessary in football.
Yeah.
You know, you see a whole different energy. You know, meeting the GM. He was just so
Yeah, you were
hyped.
all over the place yesterday.
All over the place. I ran into everybody, and everybody just has a great energy, and it like carries right through the whole team. You could see it.
Even Liam on the sidelines, getting the crowd pumped up and things like that. Did Doug Peterson ever do that?
I don't remember seeing that.
I don't remember if he did.
Yeah, and that's the best thing that I saw. You know, we looked very competent on defense. You know, we weren't a lot of misassignments, and all we said last week was we'll see. And I think we saw something.
Yeah, the offensive line, I think, had a lot to prove to those of us that have been wondering if they did enough, right? But they brought in key free agents, and those key free agents played really well. On the first drive, maybe people started to freak out when there were some penalties. And I understand that, certainly. But they were able to overcome that. They were able to overcome adversity in general with the lightning delay. But I think, too, defensively, and by the way, Liam Coen we've been calling him Coach Camp now for months.
Yeah.
He calls him Campy.
And
I was like, maybe we should start to switch to that. Yeah. But yeah, Anthony Campanile and that aggressiveness on defense, the way that he sends pressure, the fact that it's not just talking about getting the football away from the opposing team. It's not just thinking about takeaways. It's actually getting those takeaways. Yeah. What did you see from Jordan Lewis, certainly a key free agent signing this offseason?
He's a sticky guy, you know. I just love the fact that we did make turnovers, you know, because I think we're almost a quarter of the way from last year.
Yeah, so last year there were 9 total takeaways all season long, 8 defensively. Yesterday, obviously, 3 takeaways defensively, and then the 2 turnovers on downs, too. Those don't go in that column, obviously.
But that's a turnover.
And then you had an almost pick 6, if not for the Jordan Lewis holding. They called it, by the way, in the press box, Eric Murray. It was not Eric Murray. It was Jordan Lewis with the holding. But either way, whether you liked that penalty, or most people around here aren't going to like it, but whether you agree with it or not, either way, the fact that Andrew Wingard had that instinct and was close to picking it off, or he picked it off, was close to getting the pick 6, was exciting.
It's funny because he's one of my friend's favorite player.
Okay.
I kind of was like, he's too slow. But then I think, man, he's so smart, though. You know that?
Yeah, high football IQ.
Yeah, a quick brain is just as good as quick feet sometimes, you know? And being around the game as long as he has, he knows, you know, certain splits, certain formations. And, you know, you put a guy like that with Jordan, you know, you can see the communication out there. I was sitting in the terrace suite, so I get to see the whole 11-man across. And it just looked so competent. Like, they looked like they knew what they were doing, and nobody was making mistakes. Everybody was flying around. It was fun to watch.
When you talk about, I heard Mike Dempsey say earlier, the 3 defensive players who played every snap, Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, and Foye Oluokun. Schematically, what worked yesterday? Why did it work so well?
The Panthers are terrible.
Yeah, there's part of it.
I just think, like, we didn't show our cards in the preseason. Remember we were talking about we looked so
Very vanilla. Yep.
And, you know, he released the exotic blitzes. When's the last time we had a corner blitz?
I know.
listening earlier.
It was pretty.
It looked good, like, because I think we have the defensive ends or outside linebackers, whatever you want to call them, that could do some of this thing, like Hines and Trayvon. They can actually drop in coverage because last year was like you knew exactly where we were going to be. 4-man rush, same guys coming. But that opens up the whole playbook, and now you gotta scheme offensively for that now.
Were you surprised to see Josh and Trayvon off the field together once again? Like, I just expected that not to happen this year because you have other guys like a Smoot and Agba that can come and they can spell them. So I just assumed that 41 or 44 would always be on the field defensively, and then you'd have other guys rotating in and out. But there were several times that both of them would come off the field and then both would go back in, and it just surprised me a little bit. Again, not complaining with only allowing 10 points, and really one of those touchdowns, I feel like, or the only touchdown that the Jaguars allowed to the Panthers was a little cheapy.
Yeah, that was we won't worry about that.
No, we won't worry about that.
But I just feel like, you know, that's how you build your depth anyway, though. You know, you get the guys on the field early in the year because we know there's going to be some injury, but you can rely on guys, and that's the most important thing that I did hear, that the guys trusted each other. You know, the best teams, like, they trust each other, that my guy's going to be where he's supposed to be. And see, I've coached high school, and I don't see that sometimes, you know. But it was great to watch. I'm excited. Like, next week is going to be a tough game, too, though. But, you know, I'm excited.
But it does help, by the way, that the Bengals barely beat the Browns. I do think a lot of us thought this team, the Bengals, outside of, maybe the defense at times is suspect, but they're, you know, this offense can do no wrong. And to only score 17 points, I feel like that gives you a little bit more hope.
There was a lot of funky games scores after week 1, which I think you see that it's teams kind of, it's a lot of them playing for the first time, or at least for full games, obviously. But
including, by the way, the Jags. So, like, if you think that's the best that they can play,
no
absolutely
way.
not.
Yeah, that's the beginning. What did you think about, because our first look, the first defense had Ventrell out there over Devin Lloyd. How do you feel about that?
Hey, coaches made the right decision if you win. You know?
I thought I saw Devin Lloyd starting and then Ventrell coming in, but earlier when we talked about it,
I heard Frank,
the rotations were a lot.
They were rotating a lot, and they were talking about it on the broadcast, just how hot it was. To expect a lot of those rotations, but that's also functional. Like the rotation, we talked about that last year, and it didn't work. We were like, why are these hockey shifts happening? That's not coming together. Things aren't clicking. And now you see what it looks like, what it's supposed to look like when you have guys that you can rotate in and out. They did this intentionally when it comes to the guys they brought in free agency, guys that can play all over the defensive line. And I think that's positive. But Frank said Ventrell is out there first ahead of Devin Lloyd. That's just why Frank said it on the broadcast. So that's what I figured.
Sometimes that could be situational, though. You know, they come out in 3 wide receivers. I think Devin is not as good as
coverage.
Covering,
you know.
Yeah, and Ventrell had a good pass breakup.
Yeah, he's a faster linebacker, and he's more of a pass coverage linebacker. But Brandon is more, you know, that run stopper. but it worked out. I keep going back to we won. I don't care how it looks. We won.
That's right. Victory Monday is always sweet around here. We'll continue the Jaguars conversation on the other side. I want to talk more about Liam Coen, Trevor Lawrence, and the offense. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. And for the 6th consecutive year, Big Chief was named the best tire center in Jacksonville for their outstanding tire services and customer care. They are fantastic, the Parman family. They will treat you just like family. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
We send our best agent in the field.
I want you to find GoldenEye, find who took it, what they plan to do with it, and stop it.
Hayes Carline takes you behind enemy lines.
Man, he's like a super spy.
Activated by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast, and you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they will show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. So don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com to schedule a free inspection online. That's Terminix.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I've been telling you about my daughter's journey with Awaken 180 as she tries to lose a little weight. In fact, last week you heard from Amber herself. Well, let me give you an update. She's been in it just a little over 2 months. Amber has lost 51 pounds. That's a real number. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it happen. She has lost 51 pounds. And here's why. Awaken 180 is not a diet. It's a lifestyle change that is sustainable, and she has figured that out. She loves the journey. She loves the new recipes. She loves that she fits into her old clothes and she sleeps better and has more energy, and it is really, really working. She's proud, and man, am I proud of her. If you want to start your transformation, you can do the same thing. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. My daughter's lost 50 pounds, and she's so excited about it. You can as well. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest of Pros.
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest of Pros.
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to restofprosneflorida.com. That's restofprosneflorida.com.
Rest of Pros.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Tom McManus has today and tomorrow off. He'll be back with us on Wednesday. And I know the Jaguars fans out there want to hear from Tom, so don't worry. His takeaways are coming up in just a minute. But y'all, I want to talk about Liam Coen and the breath of fresh air that he is for this offense. We thought that Doug Peterson / Press Taylor and the combo of that play calling would change this offense. And we thought after 2022, the sustained success here was the future for this team. And then obviously we all know what's happened since then. And I don't want to talk about the past. I want to talk about the future. But we can only look to, the things that have gone on here before we can get to where this team is going. To me, the contrast between what Liam Coen does play calling wise and what's been here previously, at least the last 3 years, is night and day. The faith in his team to go for it on fourth down at your own 37, 4th and 1, early in a football game that does feel like you need to win this game for your team's confidence. The ability for his team to run the football, for him to trust the short yardage situations, for him to trust the offensive line, trust the 4 different running backs, including 2 rookie running backs. That to me, and plus obviously all the creative stuff too, and the fact that his receivers are downfield blocking on De'Ami Brown, the way Brenton Strange played yesterday. His play calling is just so much different. Hunter Long catching the first touchdown, and he was that wide open. Yeah. I feel, Taylor, if not just for the defensive takeaways, but the play calling itself, I am so excited to see what Liam Coen can do.
Me too. And I think that Doug Peterson had people wanting to ship Travis Etienne out of Jacksonville, and this is the showing, and this was kind of my prediction of this year. I think we were going to see the way that Liam Coen coaches, the way that the run game is such a focal point of his offenses. I was fully expecting to see this type of Etienne, and it was really refreshing to see that again, because you go back to 2022, and he was just such a massive part of the offense, and that opens up so many things. But to your point, Lauren, when it comes to the trust side, I think instilling that early when it comes to those fourth downs and showing Trevor you trust him to do these things in the run game and the short yardage stuff, which were all issues last year, that you're saying, hey, I trust that you guys can convert these short downs or these fourth downs or whatever the case may be. That third down number, you want to improve a little bit more than what it was yesterday. But outside of that, it was everything that you could have asked for when it came to we talked about, you said you don't need flashy, but I think there wasn't a lot of downfield stuff, so people are concerned about that. You take what you get in a game like this, and that's what they could do. They knew they could pick apart the Panthers that way, and that's what they did.
Well, I don't think the Panthers' defense is as bad as people were saying, because I think they're pretty good defense when you got Brown back in there on the D
Derek
tackle.
Brown and J.C. Horn.
I mean, they got some good corners. The linebacker crew is pretty good. But to me, playing in the NFL, you're playing against the best anyway. It's like we can easily say, oh, they're not that good because they're Carolina. No, these guys are professionals as well.
They just don't have that dominant edge rusher or edge rushers the way that some teams the Jaguars will face have. And so that's where I think the concern was. Yeah.
This weekend.
Well, I mean, if we run the ball, and that takes care of our defense as well.
Absolutely.
It balances everything because, I mean, look how it worked out. We got 3 turnovers. We had the ball for like 30, 40 minutes compared to them. I mean, it just makes everything easier for the whole team when you control that line of scrimmage. I mean, we look at the best teams in football. They all control the line of scrimmage on both sides. I feel like that's that's the mission. And you can see that is what they're really focusing on this year.
Surprisingly, the time of possession was Jaguars 31 minutes, Panthers 29 minutes.
Oh.
It did feel like it was a lot more lopsided than that, but I do think that
the first quarter, it was like half, like one
it was
Jags
only two
drive and then
possessions.
one
Yeah,
Panthers
with like 30
drive.
seconds left, each team had only possessed the ball once. Yeah, it was nice for the Jaguars, to your point, to score on the opening drive.
Yeah,
I
get
feel
some
like
points
that had
early,
not
yeah.
happened in a long time, and you felt like they were going to score a touchdown too.
Yeah.
They just obviously came up a little bit short, but we talked about those penalties. You can't have those and be successful typically in the NFL. You can against a team that, to me, just couldn't get out of its own way. The defense may not be terrible. The offense has some weapons, but there's something in their lack of rhythm that I thought showed so much yesterday. Like, Dave Canales has to be frustrated that they couldn't get, like you said, Taylor, about the third downs. At one point, the Panthers were, I want to say, 5 out of 7 on third down. This was earlier in the game. Yet they had 3 points.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't always just look at
the third down number.
Yeah, those types of things. It depends on the flow of the game and everything like that. But yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. ends up with a rushing touchdown, but doesn't have, a great day offensively. And then Travis Hunter. We obviously have to talk about Travis Hunter. He started offensively, played a couple snaps defensively. What'd you see out of him?
He's still trying to figure it out. But, it's just it's gonna get better and better. I feel like just as a rookie myself, you don't really know what to expect at first. And then once you get in there a couple games, you get comfortable. I mean, we'll just find ways to give him the ball and let him make plays.
And that's where I think he looked really good yesterday, was on offense. He has that ability to make people miss.
Yeah.
And that little, those sneaky moves that he has, that quick twitch stuff, like that's where, obviously, that's what people saw on tape and said he's going to be a great receiver and or corner or both. But I don't think we got to see enough of him on defense. And I kind of wondered, did Liam Coen say, all right, because he's been injured and missed a lot of time, 10 days or so,
You don't want to push it.
we don't want to push him, and also I don't know that we need him.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was kind of wondering, is Liam's like, I don't need, the best out of Travis Hunter today or him to play 50 snaps. Like, I just need to bring him along a little slower.
Yeah, I think that when you're talking about it, I think we're talking about Travis Hunter still trying to figure it out. I think they are also. We've talked a ton about it being game to game, how it's going to look, situational. But I do think that when you have somebody who's coming into that first NFL game, you put him where you feel like you can use him the most and need him the most that day. And maybe they felt they were good on defense. I mentioned both Jordan Lewis and Tyson Campbell playing every snap defensively. And so those two guys, they looked good. And maybe you don't need that extra help. A game like this weekend when you're facing Jamar Chases and T. Higgins, maybe that looks a little bit different.
Yeah, and I thought Jarian Jones played well.
Yeah, he did.
He had the one defensive pass interference that, it's going to happen from game to game. But yeah, we'll see certainly what they decide to do with Travis Hunter moving forward. I do feel like overall, the biggest thing to take away for me is that the Jaguars won this game in dominant fashion. And the fact that Trevor Lawrence, maybe it wasn't a perfect game, obviously, right? He missed some throws. His head coach talked about it. His third quarter wasn't great. But yet, at least to me with the eye test yesterday, I walked away saying all the things that they wanted to work on, those things were fixed. The footwork, for the most part, looked really good. I thought he looked comfortable. He did not look scared in the pocket. It does help that he didn't get sacked. Yes, he got touched on the one intentional grounding. That happens. He should have thrown the ball away earlier. But I feel like watching him yesterday, Bees, I thought, okay, the Trevor Lawrence that we all said needs to have that big year 5 jump, like, I can see it.
He wasn't holding on to the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he was getting, I sit up there every game. I say it in my little clock, 1, 2, 3, and I'm screaming, throw it. And he throws it right on time.
Now, are you screaming out loud or screaming in your head?
I'm screaming out loud. Because I don't want to get hurt. I'm like, get rid of that ball on time, Because it is a game of choreography. And, the one thing I do remember, and Jordan was talking about it, getting hands on people on defense. And that's what helped us. So at the same time, it has to be our rhythm, getting rid of the ball on time, because it really is less than 4 seconds that the ball has got to be gone. And he was getting rid of the ball, perfect timing. And that's the main thing I saw, because even last year, I got to go back to last year, because you got to make a comparison.
Yeah, we're comparing.
You got to make a comparison. Preseason, he was holding on to the ball, taking hits in the preseason. I didn't see that this year.
Yeah.
It's carrying over to the game.
That's where we've seen, and you can go around the league and talk about, the quarterbacks that are successful and the ones that you feel like the situational stuff is obviously a big thing. And that's something that we've wanted to see get better from Trevor Lawrence. And I think we will throughout this year, because that's such a focus from Liam Coen. And he's going to push him, and he's going to say, hey, you won this game 26-10, but there were still some mistakes. There were still some balls that weren't on target and whatever the case may be. But as you slowly start checking these boxes and saying, here's all the things that Trevor the last couple years has really struggled with, just start reducing those. And that's when you're getting better and better and you're developing a quarterback the right way. And we've seen Liam Coen do that. And we talk about Baker Mayfield and what he did with Baker and that huge jump. He already kind of had that breakout year. The next year, all of the boxes started getting checked, and that's what you want to see with Trevor. It's not going to be the first 3 weeks. I do think it will take a little bit of time. And my whole thing, even going back when they had the strong start in 2023, I was like, I just want to see 4 quarters of it, and I still haven't seen that, and that's my next thing that I want to see is 4 quarters of that good Trevor football that we see, rather than, okay, here's a couple good quarters, and then it goes away completely, and then you see it again late.
Yeah, I feel like the interception was probably the one, obviously, throw that he'd like to have back.
Yeah.
There are a couple more that, the first sort of Brian Thomas Jr., what exactly went wrong on that? But going back to the interception, I love how everyone immediately blames Trevor, and that may be the case. It could have been Trevor's fault. But I also wondered, you have a rookie receiver in there in Travis Hunter. Did he not do exactly what Trevor was expecting him to do? Because obviously that ball needed to be about a yard farther thrown. But was that more was Travis a little bit more shallow than he maybe should have been? And again, I'm not blaming Travis Hunter. I don't know. I'm not in the meeting rooms today.
What did you see there?
That's what I wondered.
Just looked like miscommunication.
Yeah.
Somebody wasn't in the right place. That's what I would think. Because, he's thrown to a spot. And that's what I say. You're always choreography. And they throw to a spot that you're supposed to be in. So when I, kind of coach, I'm like, I won't blame the quarterback for an interception if it's a wrong route or, because I look at these stats and I feel like we don't need to pass that much if we can run like this.
Yeah.
And that's the key factor to me because he can do all those things. He can run. He can sling the ball with anybody. And if we're running for 200 yards every game, which we won't.
Right.
It just balances everything. And did we have any 200-yard games last year?
Oh, I highly doubt it.
No,
No, because ETN had 600 and something yards, and Bigsby had maybe 800 and something yards total for the year.
Yeah, definitely not. And that's
the last time ETN went for over 100 was 2023 against the Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what, he was averaging 8.9 yards a carry. That's what you want to see. And early on in the game, it looked like Chuba Hubbard was about to do the same thing. He was averaging over 6, and the Jags were able to figure that out, especially in the second half when it came to their run game. So when you talk about what worked for us and what didn't work for them, that's the adjustments. Imagine that. Imagine changing things at halftime and being like, hey, let's stop Chuba Hubbard, because that's the one thing that was kind of tearing them up early, especially on that first drive.
Right. The lightning delay. Way to make adjustments. They talked about that post-game too, how they went in and they had a good plan and they were able to talk through some things. And so certainly offensively, defensively, you've got to have a head coach that can actually figure out what's going wrong, also what's going right.
Right, yeah.
And certainly make
not to shy away. And I feel like that we've seen that so many times too, where it's like, this isn't working, so we abandon it. And that's one thing that Liam Coen doesn't do. He's going to stick to his scheme and his game plan, and eventually it starts to work because you just wear the defense down, or offense, however you want to look at it.
It was very balanced. 31 passes, 32 runs. That's how you win the game,
And
keeping them off guard.
Absolutely. And also just having your quarterback be comfortable because the run game is successful. And yes, Trevor was able to take off twice. I know we've talked about that too. What we want to see.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, mobility. And he didn't run for 100 yards like Lamar Jackson's going to, but he picked up 2 first downs both times he ran the football. He did not slide the way Justin Herbert slid on Friday night, which is feet first, which we would still like to see. But either way.
He's a professional, by the way. Jalen Hurts is just like the most perfect quarterback slider you'll see. Him and Lamar both can.
Good,
but even Justin Herbert in that game against the Chiefs, he had this great slide along the sidelines, and I was like, that's what we need is the feet first. Yes, the baseball slide. Please work on that. All right, we will hear Tom's takeaways on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a big Chiefs Tire Monday. It's 1010X on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Protected by
Green Law Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
Tired of plumbers trying to sell you instead of help you? At Superior Plumbing and Pipeline, and we do things differently. We hire real plumbers, not salesmen, and we never pay commission. That means no upselling, no pressure, and no unnecessary repairs. Just honest, expert work at a fair price. So the next time you need a plumber you can trust, make the superior choice and call Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, where quality comes first and honesty is standard. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. No commissions, just solutions. Learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Yo, Jacksonville, Hickens Hype. Checkmate Coatings crushes it with floors I'd put in my own pad.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Rush to checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now.
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's Takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, my takeaways today are from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, as I get ready to play in a charity golf event honoring our fallen military and the homeless military veterans of Cape Cod. It's a great tournament. I'm very happy to be here. Got a chance to watch our Jags first at the airport bar as my flight was delayed. You know how much I love flying, girls. And then a little bit on the plane as well, as JetBlue offered those services. What a great win. Congrats to everybody. I'm very happy that we are 1-0, number one in the AFC South. I thought we were going to do it. I thought we were going to do it in a good fashion like we did. Got to clean some things up. The head coach said it too. The quarterback was very good, except for a bit in the third quarter, so you got to make sure that's better. The interception, you just got to throw it out there a little bit further and let your receiver go get it. But overall, Trevor Lawrence had a a very good game. ETN, fantastic. The O-line, absolutely incredible. And that defense, although I thought they were getting pushed around a little bit, ended up having a very good outing. And, man, the takeaways already knocking them down from last year, already more than half. So congrats to them. And let's get after Cincinnati. I'm calling the W, man. We are going to beat Cincinnati. We got to play our game, got to clean up the penalties. But I think we got a great shot of going up to Cincinnati and beating the Bengals. That's my takeaways for today on this beautiful Victory Monday, brought to our good friends at J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Yeah, the Bengals currently favored by 3.5. We'll see how that line changes throughout the week. But
are you surprised? That's it.
I'm not surprised
the way that
based
week one,
off of the way week one went. And I think most people know the Bengals typically
start slow.
A little bit more of slower starts, despite how they change things up in the preseason and whatnot. But yeah, I think to Tom's point, you look at the season already differently now the way that week one went, or at least I do. I was hoping the Jaguars could get to 1-1, honestly, like praying for it over the weekend, like just get to 1-1.
Yeah.
And now I feel like you wouldn't be surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised if the Jaguars end up being 2-0. I'm not saying, I'm not necessarily with Tom yet that they're absolutely going to beat Cincinnati, but they have things that we have not seen as of late, and that is pass rush depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't just that Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen were getting to the quarterback and nobody else. Dwan Smoot ended up with the only registered sack. Certainly, I thought, though, you did see interior pressure from Eric Armstead at times. And yes, those two edge guys were certainly playing violently, getting some pressures. By the way, side note, I wish that the box score for people who don't actually watch the game, I wish that those showed pressures, not just sacks. Like, I wish pressures got added to it. And I'm not saying that if you have all these pressures and no sacks, you're just as good as if you had sacks. Obviously, that's not the case. But either way, there were things that I saw yesterday that make me way more optimistic, because I think I've been trying to not even get that far in advance down the road with Liam Coen and all the additions that they've made. But so far, it feels like what they've done, what they set out to do, I should say, they've done so far in week one.
I think the mentality of the coach preaching physicality really shows.
Yeah.
And that's how you can beat Cincinnati. You know, physical, keep those receivers off the field, and, you know, just keep running. 200 yards running. If we get 150, 160, that's even good. But I feel like anybody can beat anybody to me. I mean, in the way of the world NFL right now, I mean, Cincinnati won against Cleveland by 1 point.
Yeah.
So what's to say we can't beat them?
Yeah. And when you start looking ahead, because at this point you're saying, okay, the Bengals, they have those slow starts. There's a lot of issues on the Bengals too. Joe Burrow is incredible. We know Jamar is. We know T is.
Not a great offensive line.
Yeah, they don't have a good O-line. Their defense isn't very good. I could see their defense getting a little bit better just because I feel like Al Golden just has that mind to be able to at least create pressures and stuff like that. And you have Trey Hendrickson, so it's not like you just don't have anything. But I do think that'll take time. And so you have a beatable Bengals team, because it was a team who does struggle defensively with the run game because of the offensive line. So if Joe Burrow has one of his games where you're like, okay, Joe Burrow, one of the 300-something yard, multiple touchdown games, then I feel like you can score then, because you're not worried about this defense very much. Then when you look ahead of that, the Texans didn't look very good at all. Their offensive line is struggling. 49ers beat up. I know Brock actually looked pretty good, but they have a lot of injury issues coming in there. The Chiefs, they're not going to have Rasheed Rice, and it doesn't look like they may not have Xavier Worthy after that injury too.
Yeah, dislocated shoulder. I was like, that's gotta be, you've got to be out at least like 6 weeks.
That's what right? And they didn't really say anything, but I was like, yeah, he got drilled by Travis Kelce. I was like,
well, they said they're going to put him in a shoulder harness and play him. Well, it's not as bad as it sounds, because you can pop it back in place. I mean, you'll have to go through some pain and a little discomfort, but you can play with just like a dislocated finger. Pop it back and go again.
No, that hurts.
I've had a dislocated
Me too. I had it
finger.
one time. That was my worst injury I ever had.
Well, it's not. Yeah, not
it's not fun.
No. Going back to the Texans, Cam Robinson, I saw got hurt yesterday too, so they had to have a backup go in. So yeah, to your point, if the pressure can affect quarterbacks as much as it did yesterday, then a lot of these games you're talking about the Jaguars being in for sure. And then yes, can Liam Cohen's aggressive play calling and Coach Campy's aggressive defensive play calling, can you win on a Cam Little field goal as time expires, right? Like, that's the kind of stuff that, yes, the Jaguars lost 10 one-score games last year. But I watched all of those one-score games.
It felt worse.
It felt like, yes, teams were destroying this team. And then at the very end, yes, garbage time. We've seen that garbage time touchdowns here before. a.k.a. Blake Bortles, back in 2014. Sorry, Blake. By the way, the inactives yesterday came out, so we knew all 4 running backs were active the moment that those came out at 11:30. The inactives were cornerback Monteric Brown or Buster Brown, offensive lineman Wyatt Milam, the rookie. We knew he'd be out. Offensive lineman Cole Van Lanen, figured he'd be out. And then the 2 rookie defensive linemen, Danny Strigout and B.J. Green. Not a huge surprise to me because there are a lot of veterans. Some people were surprised about defensive tackle Mason Smith. But we talked about it last week, Taylor. Jeff Lageman said on Jaguars Today he wouldn't be surprised if he is down at least the first week as far as being inactive. And so I wasn't surprised when that information came out. And then Liam said today, basically, it just goes back to the lack of reps in training camp because he was dealing with an injury. Eric Armstead was too, but Eric is a 10-year vet in this league. Mason, this is his second year. So to me, like I said, I wasn't a surprise based off of what Logs told the guys, but I understand that you want him to be active. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, and I think especially the way last year went too. There's still a sore spot there because he was inactive in a lot of games early on, and people were trying to figure out why. And then he's not on the injury report, and then he's inactive, and so they explained it. But I think there is still some people saying we drafted this guy really high, and he's supposed to be this defensive tackle that's making plays and game changing. And I think late in the season last year you saw that, so you would hope he would be out there. But yeah, they were honest with us when it comes to why and kind of easing him into things. Because he didn't start a lot last year either.
Right.
So
and they brought in Colin Saunders and they brought in Austin Johnson, and you saw certainly Colin got a ton of playing time yesterday, and so that's where I guess. Yes, I want Mason Smith to be active. I want him to make plays. He had 3 sacks a season ago playing in about half the games, but I'm also not panicked about it either.
They made those moves this offseason for the reason.
They definitely have a lot more depth.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you're a second-round pick, that's basically a starter in my book. You're supposed to be out there in game shape. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to get in game shape, and that's what I think it is. I mean, you can have him out there. It goes out in one play, and now you just lost a roster spot. So it is about a numbers thing too. So it could have been special teams. I mean, and we do have some depth there. So.
Well, and again, 4 running backs, you're going to have to
pick and choose at that moment.
You're going to have to make a tough choice there.
Yeah, and I think too when it comes to Mason, you want to see him out on the field, but I do think that you have to trust in this coaching staff until they give you a reason not to. And I think to this point, they've been very honest and open about, certain things. And I know Mason Smith, too, talked about last year when he came in, and he was honest, saying, I didn't come in the best shape that I should have last year. So that is why people worry a little bit here, because it's kind of like, all right, we've had these issues now. This is year 2, and you're still kind of seeing some of the same things. So when does that change? But I do think you have to pump the brakes a little bit.
And again, the Jaguars won 26-10. Everybody take a deep breath if you are panicked about anything. I know some people are still panicked about Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, yeah. The text line, we have several about one guy, his name on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. So they have him in here as Fabio lover because this guy does not like Trevor Lawrence. But he said, so 2 different texts. He said, Denny has proven my point all year that this is obviously during prime time, but they are using Fabio's talent. That's why they have 4 running backs. Fabio's no good. And then the next text said, it's crazy to listen how it was always the coach's fault that for Fabio and Bortles' failures. You had a national title and Super Bowl champion coaches, and now it's just so wonderful how Liam is making Fabio better. And I've listened all day. We need to draft a quarterback in 2026. So, yeah, we get both extremes on the text line.
Can't we just be happy with a win?
I know. It was
That's how we are. You give us a win. I don't care. Yeah, I don't even care if it was a win by 1 point, which could have happened in Gainesville, but that's a whole other story. Bees, how did Friday night go?
Not so well. From the first kickoff.
Poor Bees.
I'll show y'all one day what I go through.
Lots to improve upon. A lot of teaching tape.
Every day is teaching,
I love it.
My guys, they want me to put some pads on and show them. I'm like, I don't want to take your job. I'm too old for that now.
By the way, before we send you off for the week, Tyson Campbell, did you think he was the best corner out on the field yesterday?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in people's face. I love it.
Yeah, me too. That's the Campbell you want to see.
He's a big corner. Like, he's 6'2", 200 pounds. That's a big dude. So using his length and, getting up in people's face is going to be the best thing for him because it'll stop the rhythm and choreography of the other team. Because you better put hands on Jamar Chase and T. Higgins this week because, Joe Burrow is throwing that ball on time and he's throwing it to a spot.
Yep. Joe Burrow's made comments before, like, sometimes I can't even see Jamar Chase. I'll literally just throw it down the field and Jamar gets it. Like, that's how confident they are in their connection and their relationship when it comes to on the football field. So that is something, I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. So you are getting a change from Panthers to Bengals. It's very different run teams and very different weapons. And so you do, when you turn the page to that weekend, I'm sure that's going to be a huge focus is, okay, you have two of the better wide receivers in the league this weekend.
That's a lot of Browns film and still their defense.
Yeah.
Whatever they did, we need to copy paste.
By the way, in a game like this, do you mind some of the aggressive penalties when it comes to defense? Like if they get a defensive holding or things like that to try and prevent some of those big plays by T and by Jamar?
If you're beat, grab somebody. I'd rather give up 15 than a touchdown.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, thanks, Bees. We so appreciate it.
Oh, back to work I go. Practice.
Back to work. Off to practice is right. We've got more to do, including Taylor's Tangent on the other side. It's 1010 XL 92.5 FM on a Big Chief Tire Monday.
From the edge of your radio to the edge of your seat. Showtime! Feel the excitement of live play-by-play.
And this place is rocking right now.
On 1010XL. Helmets and Heels. Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's a sauce kind of football season with Chick-fil-A chicken strips. Each crispy, juicy bite only gets better when you choose your favorite sauces to dip into and create your own flavor combinations. Will it be sriracha and ranch, honey and buffalo, barbecue, and Chick-fil-A sauce with 21 different sauce pairings possible? It's easy to go on a flavor adventure. Order in a 4-count, 10-count, or in a catering tray. Get an order started today in the Chick-fil-A app and dip on into football season.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Chip Davis, director of the Flounder Pounder Fishing Tournament. We are fast approaching our 16th annual tournament benefiting the Jacksonville School for Autism. With the help of our amazing community, we raised over $1.4 million the last 15 years. This year's tournament will be held at Palm Valley Outdoors on the Intercoastal Waterway. Captain's meeting is Thursday night, October 9th, and the tournament is Saturday, October 11th. I'm inviting you and your family to come out and enjoy our tournament festivities, raise some money, and support autism awareness. Special thanks to U.S. Army Recruitment Jacks for their support. Flounder Pounder for Autism 2025. See you there.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 8th, 2007, 41-point underdog Stanford came back from being down 23-0 to beat USC in one of the biggest upsets in college football history.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I've been telling you about my daughter's journey with Awaken 180 as she tries to lose a little weight. In fact, last week you heard from Amber herself. Well, let me give you an update. She's been in it just a little over 2 months. Amber has lost 51 pounds. That's a real number. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it happen. She has lost 51 pounds. And here's why. Awaken 180 is not a diet. It's a lifestyle change that is sustainable, and she has figured that out. She loves the journey. She loves the new recipes. She loves that she fits into her old clothes and she sleeps better and has more energy, and it is really, really working. She's proud, and man, am I proud of her. If you want to start your transformation, you can do the same thing. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. My daughter's lost 50 pounds, and she's so excited about it. You can as well. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
If you need tires, brakes, services, wheel alignments, oil changes, any of those things, you can do what I do, and that is trust our friends at Big Chief Tire. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Tom McManus has today and tomorrow off, but he'll be back on Wednesday. Right now, Taylor Dahl has a tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
Still one game to go for the week as Bears-Vikings play tonight, but...
Is that an important game?
A little. We'll see, yeah. I have no idea what to expect from that game, honestly.
I can understand that. Nobody knows what to expect of J.J. McCarthy,
yeah, you don't know what it's...
new regime.
I mean, and you talk about a team that's built very well, and Kevin O'Connell's just been able to do it time and time again with quarterbacks. So does he do it again? And, is another quarterback looking like it's going to be... Michael Penix played well yesterday. There's a lot of these young quarterbacks that are playing well. So it's been fun to kind of see. But I wanted to go through some of the rankings for the games that have already been on. So there's a different breakdown. So it has the top quarterback performances, the top pass catcher performances, top running backs, defensive players, and there's a few Jags that land on these lists. So that's why I wanted to bring some of this up. But the top quarterback performances so far through week one, Josh Allen number one. I don't think anybody's surprised about that. That game was wild.
I was going to say, did you stay up and watch that?
Yeah, the game was insane.
I could not fall asleep because it was so good. So at 40-25, I was like, okay, maybe I turn it off, and I was like, but it's Josh Allen, and plus, you just can't look away from those two teams in general. And then to see what they did was unbelievable.
Insane.
And then Matt Prater, who just got there on Thursday, and they were carrying him off. And I was like, guys, I feel like you should be carrying off Josh Allen. I mean, yes,
Josh is probably like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Fine. Yeah, so he had the highest when it comes to total EPA. And behind him, Lamar Jackson. So that's not a surprise. The matchup that was probably the best game that we've seen this week.
Oh, absolutely.
And for week one, both
Bar
those.
none.
It's
probably the second best would have been the Steelers-Jets.
Yeah, that was a fun one, too. I hate him. Behind that was Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, Michael Penix, Daniel Jones, which I'm sure we'll talk more about that this week. That was a very, I think, shocking to a lot of people. But
we thought the Dolphins would be not a great football team this year.
They're bad.
After
Very
the
bad.
joint between the Jaguars and the Dolphins, all the reports that were coming out were not good. And then, that preseason game, their first string against Jags' third string. But
they're
I didn't
imploding.
expect
It's
the
wild.
Colts to put 33 points up.
It's
And
wild.
at one point, 30-0.
I know. It's wild because it's just, I mean, I was talking to people yesterday about this, and I'm like, 3-4 years ago, you were talking about Mike McDaniel, potential like coach of the year, and how like genius he is in play calling, and how perfect he is for Tua, and everything's going right. They get Tyreek Hill, and you feel like, okay, this is going to be an unstoppable offense, and it's just fallen apart. It's honestly kind of wild how quickly it's fallen apart. But going through the rest, Geno Smith behind that, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers for the quarterbacks. Top pass catchers, we've got Zay Flowers, Puka Nacua, Keon Coleman, Bijan Robinson, Brenton Strange was the 6th best top pass catcher. Behind that was Michael Pittman for the Colts. You've got Keenan Allen for the Chargers. I loved seeing Keenan Allen back in the Chargers. I feel like it's just where he belongs. Emeka Egbuka for the Bucks at 9, and then Ricky Pearsall behind that at 10. I know Ricky's somebody that you and I kind of expected to have one of those seasons. What he did in the last 4 games last year was incredible. So I think that's something that they're really counting on.
And everybody else is hurt.
Yeah, you kind of have to throw it to Ricky, I
George
guess.
Kittle, yeah.
Yeah, they can't catch a break when it comes to that. Running back wise, Derrick Henry first, Javonte Williams, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, R.J. Harvey, Breece Hall, Kareem Hunt, Travis Etienne, 8th on this. I'm honestly surprised it's not higher than that. But they do, it's EPA per play, so a lot of things. It's like success percentage.
Derrick Henry 1, Travis Etienne 2.
Yeah, and I guess, which Derrick Henry, by the way, had 169 yards. And then
fumble.
Breece Hall had 107, and then Etienne obviously with 143. But they break it down with multiple things, like how many rushes, yards per carry, EPA per carry, and success percentage. And that success percentage, Etienne had a 50%, and I guess that's why. But I don't know. I still definitely would have put him higher. The top defensive players, you had Ed Oliver, Nick Bosa, Foye Oluokun, 3rd on this when it comes to that total EPA. So good things from that. Jeffrey Simmons behind him, Kenny Moore, Will Anderson, Azeez Al-Shaair. You don't want to see that. Jahad Campbell, Nate Landman, and then Xavier Woods for the Titans also. So a lot of AFC South names showing up on these lists early on. So a division that people were like, this is going to be one of the worst. Maybe surprises some people when it comes to, especially if Daniel Jones continues to play the way he played yesterday.
Yeah, that by far, that was the biggest surprise this weekend, other than maybe the Jaguars dominating the Panthers, not winning, but certainly in the dominant fashion that they did. Yeah, I think when you have a team like the Broncos in your survivor pool and the Titans hang in with them, you think, well, 2 things. One, well, maybe that Jags-Broncos game is looking a little bit easier than maybe I had originally thought. That game's not until December, though, so we have a long ways to go until then. But also, are the Titans with Cam Ward at quarterback going to be a little bit tougher to beat? Because they didn't score a lot, obviously. They lost 20-12. But there were moments that Cam Ward looked really poised. And so, as far as the Titans go, I don't think the rest of the roster is very good. But if he's able to elevate those guys around him, and then if Daniel Jones continues to play like that, and if the Texans bounce back, obviously 14-9 loss to the Rams, offensively they just looked a little
clicking at all.
Clunky. But it could be, yes, right now the Jags are tied for the division lead, but it could be in a month, 5 weeks from now, we're thinking the Jaguars are going to win this division.
Could you see a world where the Texans go from first to worst?
Probably not because of the Titans. I just don't think they have the talent near that the Texans do.
Yeah.
But and I still think that it was probably Jags and Texans between the two of them.
The top,
I hate to look at week one and pour too much into it.
When you go through some of this, read some of the scores from this weekend, and you'll be like, okay, let's see what happens week 2.
But at the same time, could the Texans implode like we were just talking about the Dolphins?
Yeah.
If your offensive line is that bad, your quarterback gets so frustrated, your receivers get so frustrated, all the pass catchers. Yeah, you're not able to run the ball. And so, it certainly can spiral out of control. I would love for that to happen. All right, we've got lunch to give away.
We do. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 3, you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A today.
All right, all the Gators fans out there don't want to hear the next segment, but the Knowles fans, the Canes fan, and basically all the Gator haters, be listening. It is 10 to next on 92.5 FM on a Big Chief Tire Monday.
Sometimes it's an offensive show.
You gotta be kidding me.
Sometimes it's a show of offensive discipline.
There are no words.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game on 1010XL.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through September 30th. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
1010XL is the home of Gator Nation and the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. I'm Hacker, and we keep you connected with the University of Florida all year long. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Lauren Brooks here. Are you ready to ditch your razors for good? Hello Smooth Med Spa in St. John's is your go-to for laser hair removal that permanently reduces hair growth. With over 10 years in the community, 400 5-star reviews, and the latest technology, their team makes smooth, stubble-free skin easy. Packages include 9 sessions, and you'll see results fast. Right now, enjoy 50% off laser hair removal packages, and be sure to let them know Lauren from 1010XL sent you. I'll be there later this week. You can visit hellosmooth.com or stop by for your free consultation, and your skin will thank you.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is celebrating 30 years with a huge new and used firearm sale all September. It's the perfect time to save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday. 0 sales tax on firearms at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. The Florida State Seminoles' new look offense under Gus Malzahn and quarterback Tommy Castellanos continued to roll as they handled East Texas A&M 77-3 on Saturday as they headed in their first bye week of the year. The Jumbo Shrimp won their series against the Charlotte Knights as they get set for their next series with the Memphis Redbirds starting tomorrow. It's 81 degrees at 3 o'clock time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Dramatica for the win, and there it is. 18-16, the final score, and the Bulls explode off the bench.
I told y'all, Gator fans, you wouldn't want to hear it, so that is how it sounded. But look, we were there in the swamp. I can tell you exactly what the fan sentiment was, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. The moment that Brandon Betts spit on Cole Skinner with a referee standing right nearby, at first the crowd couldn't exactly tell what was going on, right? Yeah. And then you find out what had happened, and you immediately go, did you not just watch the NFL game when Jalen Carter was ejected on the first series for spitting near Dak Prescott? Like, did you, even if you weren't watching the game, even let's say you were studying.
Yeah.
Let's say
you heard about it. You definitely heard about it.
Definitely. Yeah. And if you didn't see it on social media, then Billy Napier should have addressed his team and said, these are some of the things that you absolutely 100% cannot do. Yeah. Spitting is a vile thing.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And yet here on the last series, defensively for Florida, that happens. And obviously you get the penalty. But to me, the biggest issue, and the reason, by the way, both Brandon Bett and Billy Napier are today's pests of the day, some of the easiest pests I've ever had. But I don't like that now 2 pests brought to you by Terminix have involved spitting in the last few days. That's ridiculous. But
that wasn't on my bingo card to start
exactly, right? The reason they're the pest of the day, and again, one of the easiest ones, is for me, Billy Napier, though, you are up. You have a 1-point lead on your home field. And I told you how many times last week, I don't bet against my team, but I would have taken South Florida in the points all day long. 18.5 was way too much. Yeah. This team is talented. We were talking about Byron Brown in the offseason. I told you he was on Bruce Feldman's freaks list, and this cat is really good. Yep. And yet, somehow, some way, Florida didn't seem to have a plan. But you're up. You have a 1-point lead, which is honestly shocking. And instead of running the football and forcing them to use their timeouts, you start throwing the ball around. Yeah. Like 2 out of the 3 plays were passes.
When it hasn't been working all day.
Right.
Like, it'd be different if Lagway was on all day and you were like, okay, he's been doing these passes all day, but it wasn't working. And that's why early on, it was a whole lot of Jaden Baugh. And you're like, okay, this is how they're going to win this game.
And then what happened to Jaden Baugh?
I know.
Well, people were wondering if he was hurt because all of a sudden it was Jacoby Jackson. Not Jacoby Jackson is a bad player, but he's not Jaden Baugh, one of the best running backs in the country. None of his play calling makes sense. Why didn't Scott Strickland in the offseason tell Billy Napier, you have to hire an offensive coordinator, or I'm going to look for coaches to replace you? Yeah. And I defend it. What makes me so frustrated, and by the way, it was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. They met at the University of Florida. It was my aunt's birthday. She and my uncle met at the University of Florida, all of which obviously are massive Gator fans. It trickled down to my brother and I, massive Gator fans. And you lose that game, and you lose it in that fashion, and you didn't need to lose the game. You could have won by 1 point, and everyone would have been talking about how you escaped, and yes, there were issues, but why didn't you force him, Scott Strickland, to hire an offensive coordinator when we know that's not his strong suit? Yeah. And that's why he had to hire a different special teams person. He obviously has a difference in the defensive coordinator because Austin Armstrong left. Ron Roberts is still there, but at some point in time, you have to look at the resources that you have. And Florida has enough resources to hire an offensive coordinator. And other schools, we've seen it. Mike Norvell obviously hired Gus Malzahn in the offseason, gave up play calling. You know what Billy Napier said today, Taylor? He will still be calling the plays in Gainesville. By the way,
I know he heard the boos. You had to. It was almost a year ago today. There was also boos. Right. So this is probably very familiar for him. It's frustrating. I'm not even a Gator fan, and watching it was frustrated. There were way too many penalties. They couldn't convert on 3rd down. DJ didn't look very good. But then you start
Jones Jr. if DJ's not going to have a good day.
Especially if what he looked like the week before. See what maybe you have, because sometimes if it's not their day, it's not your day. And then you force passes late in a game when it already wasn't working. And then it just felt like USF had the momentum, especially late, and then you get that penalty with the spit, and you're like, okay, well, this just backs you up completely. By the way, you have timeouts. You're letting the whole clock, where you taking them to the locker room with you? Like, I don't understand why you're not using your timeouts. You could have saved yourself at least some time on the clock, got in field goal range, and not saying they could have, but actually have 45, 50 seconds to get in field goal range. And it was so sloppy, and it just looked like Billy was in over his head. And we've seen this before. We've seen those moments. And then I think he got saved a little bit by Lagway's play late in the season in the defense last year. And so people kind of just shooed things away. And they're like, the defense played really well. Yeah, and they were winning games. It wasn't Billy Napier's. I don't think it was Billy Napier that was winning those games. It was a defense that surprised a lot of people, and Lagway playing well. And now those things weren't working as well, and Billy's errors are shining even brighter.
Look, Alex Golish is a good coach. He used to coach with Josh Heupel at Tennessee. Like, he knows what he's doing offensively. The Swamp had momentum after the between the third and fourth quarters. I got to see Won't Back Down. A lot of happy memories from that. But the momentum absolutely switched. Like, yes, USF was keeping the crowd quiet in the third quarter. And then as soon as that, fun, We Are the Boys, and then Won't Back Down and all the flashlights on the phones and everybody got super into it. And then it was like, okay, you're just going to escape and that's okay. You go to Baton Rouge.
Get a win,
and I was following along with scores around the league, especially on the way home too, in addition to watching Swamp Sessions, which was glorious.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say a lot of the games were a lot closer than people were anticipating. A lot of teams were not putting lesser teams or lower teams away.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, that's all Florida needed to do too. Would it have been a wake-up call? Absolutely. But in the end, he hasn't hired an offensive play caller. And he's not going to give it up. And
I mean, does this cost him his job?
Yeah, that's going to be the end. And it's sad because, like I said, I defended him so much last year and said, just wait and see. Let's see what happens. And all this offseason, he had great recruiting momentum.
Yeah.
And he's built this place to be a place that a lot of kids want to come play. Like, he's getting those 4 and 5 stars, and he's getting some good guys out of the transfer portal.
Even when guys are leaving, he was still able to just kind of continue on, which was a good thing because several defensive players left, and he was able to fill those spots. And so you were optimistic that, okay, he can do all of these things, but it catches up quick if you can't do the end game, or if you can't just admit you that's not your strong point, and you've got to at some point hand that over. And it took a 2-win season for Norvell to probably figure that out. But you don't want to get to that point. You don't want to get out, only win a few games this year, and then at the end they're like, oh, well, now I'll hire an offensive coordinator because everybody's been telling me I need to do that anyways.
Yeah, I said this to Dan Hicken in the press box yesterday, and he was like, all right, good, I needed that perspective. To me, when it came to the Jaguars, it took us having the 4-win team or the 4-win season to get to a point of knowing Doug Peterson's not the answer. Yeah. And there needs to be a complete and total overhaul, including Trent Baalke, obviously, eventually as well. Well, in Gainesville, I think there were some of us that still had hope that maybe because Napier's a good CEO, he could get enough assistant coaches to get to this team to where they needed to be and win the SEC, or at least compete against the best teams in the SEC. And now we know this team is never going to win a national championship under him. Yeah. And so at least if you are looking for the bright side or the silver lining, you now know you have to move forward. You have to move along. I don't know when it's going to be.
What's his buyout?
That's a good question. I want to say it's like 30 or 40 million. I haven't even looked because I'm not going to win the Powerball since somebody else already won it and not be able to pay him off like
won?
that Alabama. I think 2 people split it, yeah. But at the end of the day, it feels like this team needs to be in better hands. Yeah. And I have liked him. I've supported him. And I feel like he's a good human when it comes to these guys, other than obviously the spitting incident and a few other off the field stuff. But for the most part, he's got a lot going for him. But at this point in time, we know Florida's not going to win the national championship under him, and that has to be the goal.
How much does it change again for people? Do people calm if they beat LSU?
They do. It'll be one of those roller coaster type of seasons. But right now, obviously, LSU favored around like 9.5.
Which I honestly don't think they looked that good.
And they didn't have a great game. They're one of the teams that
you win. Then to your point, like even if you pull out of things, maybe it's not your best game. But if you're still winning those, then you at least you are competitive, and that's not what the Gators were able to do. So LSU at least has that. But it does feel like it's a slow start for a lot of, and we've talked about this before. I think college football has that because there are so many changes now when it comes to the guys in the portal moving around, and we've talked about the quarterbacks. There wasn't a ton of returning quarterbacks this year, so there's a lot of newness in that area. And so I do think we're seeing a little bit of a slower start for a lot of teams, but when in a game like this at home, and everybody talks about the Swamp being one of the more difficult places to play, and it doesn't look like it's scaring people at this point in time.
Definitely didn't scare the Bulls, that's for sure. Apparently right now it's about $20 million because it's 85% of the remaining contract, so lower than I thought. It must have been last year's number that I had in mind. But yeah, that's today's Terminix Pest of the Day, as always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. If you have any issues with ants or mosquitoes or any sort of pests, termites for sure, visit them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They take care of Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, all of your favorite event venues around town. Since they do such a great job, residential, commercial, they will do it all. You are listening to a Big Chief Tire Monday on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
A high-performance machine raises eyebrows and holds your attention.
And play big-time football on a big-time stage.
And so it is with the Performance Painting High-Performance Play of the Game.
Somebody got to make a play.
On 1010XL.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group.
For the insured.
Fighting for you.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timaquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
Go inside your home team's locker room with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Check out my blog at 1010XL.com
so you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing,
where quality and experience count. Jacksonville was built on specialists. Now the Special Teams Player of the Week, sealed by Superior Plumbing and Pipeline.
Cam Little was huge on Sunday for the good guys. The 22-year-old was perfect on both his field goals as well as his extra point attempts, with his longest field goal being from 47 yards out. Little showed why he was the big cat on campus, and he's your Superior Plumbing and Pipelining Special Teams Player of the Game.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Jacksonville is my hometown and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006. Helmets and Heels is returning to Vegas. If you're heading out for the big game, join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for a Halloween weekend football getaway, featuring Circa room discounts and a huddle up for everyone in the teal and black. Meet Helmets and Heels Friday night, October 31st, then hit the Circa Stadium Swim with temperature-controlled pools and a massive betting screen. For Circa room discounts and more information, visit the 1010XL webpage or circalasvegas.com/huddleup-up.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Thanks to 0148 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. They sent over the details for Billy Napier's contract as a whole. So under contract until January 31st, 2029, Florida will owe 85% of Napier's contract should they terminate him. Buyout drops to $13 million following 2026. It drops to buyout drops to $6 million, a little over $6 million following the 2027 season, and then it drops to $0 following the 2028 season. So Napier would receive roughly $10.2 million within 30 days of the contract's termination. He should then receive $2.5 million every July 15th for the next 4 years. He would also be owed 85% of the next 2 months' salary, an amount valued at roughly $1.2 million.
I would take $2.5 million every year for a couple of years.
Somebody on the text line also said, let's start a GoFundMe.
Yeah. Get him out. Yeah. That does not surprise me after how things went down. By the way, I meant to read this to you on air in the last segment. The Gators lost to a Sunshine State team other than FSU or Miami in the Swamp for the first time since 1938. It has been 87 years since Florida's lost to another team in the Sunshine State, not named FSU or Miami.
Look, that is not a stat you want linked to you.
It's not. I went, obviously, to the press box yesterday on my way in. As I'm walking through the fairgrounds parking lot, I see a bunch of my friends tailgating and, I stop to say hello, and they all just go, I'm so sorry. Like, it was so bad that they didn't even tease me about it. They just were like...
That's when you know a loss is bad. When people are just
give me a hug. I'm so sorry. I'm like, no. I want to, like...
Not Gator fans?
Not Gator fans, no. But they certainly empathize. Yeah. And then I explained to them how we actually went to the game our first time in the Swamp in like 9 years. I saw Frank in the press box yesterday. He said, I'm not allowed back. I said, don't worry, I'm not going. My orange and blue nails that I was so excited about, now every single time I wash my hands, I get even angrier. So
it's just a reminder.
It is a reminder, and it's awful. And never paint your nails in your team colors for the fact that they may lose. By the way, the latest AP poll came out yesterday. Ohio State 1, Penn State 2, LSU 3. Who does Florida play on Saturday night?
Yeah.
In Baton Rouge? Oh, yeah, LSU. Yeah. 3rd, Oregon 4th, Miami 5th. Who does Florida play in 2 weeks? Miami. By the way, Miami has South Florida this weekend, so that should be fun.
And that'll be a good one, though.
It will be. Georgia is ranked 6th. Georgia plays Tennessee this weekend at Tennessee, so that's a 6 versus a 15. That one I'm really looking forward to. Texas is 7th. Steve Sarkisian confirms that Arch Manning does not have a shoulder issue, by the way.
His quote was quite interesting.
Yeah, when a reporter asked, he's like, it seems like Arch has a shoulder issue. He's like, well, where did you hear that? And he's like, well, just in watching him, like he's grimacing. And Steve Sarkisian said back to the reporter, well, no one films UI going to the bathroom and then just moves along from there. So that was an interesting.
It did look uncomfortable, though. They had the one clip and they zoom in, and I'm like, he doesn't look. And like the first one I saw, kind of, you could take it either way. Like maybe he didn't like the pass, and so he's making a face from that. But one of them looked like he was in pain.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I'm also not sure what's going on with DJ Lagway. But that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, Texas is ranked 7th. Notre Dame is 8th. And Notre Dame faces Texas A&M this upcoming weekend. Plays host to Texas A&M. And so that's an 8 versus a 16. That should be a good game. By the way, Marcus Freeman, who a lot of Florida fans are clamoring for, you say back off.
Yes, don't touch him. I saw it just as this pops up. It was like somebody on Twitter was like, my top 5 head coaching candidates for the Gators: Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman, Lane Kiffman, Jed Fish, and then Glenn Schumann. You like those?
A couple of those are very interesting. The bottom ones are interesting. Dan Lanning, I think I understand why people would be excited. Again, Oregon's ranked 4th in the country. He came from Georgia before that. The problem is he has the access to Phil Knight's pocketbooks. And so when you have Nike money, I don't know that even Hugh Hathcock at Florida has the resources to be able to compare to that. Rounding out the top 10, Illinois number 9 and FSU 10th in the country. So from unranked and then to last week, I think 14th. And then now to top 10 in the country.
So quickly it can happen.
Absolutely. FSU has an easy game this week for sure. And so all you FSU fans out there that are just so excited that obviously your season's going much better. FSU plays host to Kent State. And then at Virginia.
Put up 70 points.
Yeah. And then at Virginia next week. And then finally another good game as FSU plays host to Miami October 4th. And by the way, the Florida at Miami game will be either 7 or 7:30 in 2 weeks on one of the either ABC or ESPN networks. That information came out today. But yeah, just I feel like overall in college football, Taylor, like it always takes us the first like month to even figure
Really
out
see,
exactly what's going on. Alabama takes on Wisconsin this weekend. I saw Alabama as a 20.5-point favorite.
Whoa.
Does that surprise you?
Yeah, that does. I just feel
I know
like
it's at Alabama, but still.
Yeah, it seems big. I don't like. I guess I don't know. I don't like those huge lines, anyways. Especially this year. I feel like, to your point, this last weekend when you go through and you watch some of these teams who you would expect putting up 50, 60 and winning by 30, 40, and they weren't. So I do think we're seeing, as I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, like slower starts for a lot of these teams. And I think a lot of it is because there's new quarterbacks and you're still kind of adjusting and figuring it out. And you really don't have, in college football, you're not playing. The week one and that you're getting thrown out there and you're kind of seeing what you got at that point. So I do think sometimes it takes a little bit more time in college football for things to really start shaking out. But that's why we've also said you shouldn't have the rankings until after that month too, because I truly don't think you can tell me after 2 weeks what teams. I mean, you want to say Florida State after week one beating Alabama, but what if Alabama's not that good? And so those things start to shake out, and that's when you can really kind of use the Lauren measuring with
the metric.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta figure all that out. All right, back to the Jaguars. I wanted to ask you this question. I feel like this team played very well yesterday, but certainly there was a lot left to be desired. So how good can this team be if they get the dominant pass rush that we expect out of Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen? If they reduce the penalties, I'm not going to say 0 penalties each week. That may be unattainable. But if they have fewer penalties, and if Trevor Lawrence plays even better than he did yesterday, like what is the ceiling for this team now that we've seen how good Liam Coen's play calling is?
Yeah, and I think that's part of it that kind of stood out to me, because I do think there were some issues. When you talk about 11 penalties is a lot of penalties, and you don't want those things to happen. And so when we were talking last week of like, how do you win? And I said, don't shoot yourself in the foot. They did, and they still won by a large margin. So if you are winning games, yes, against probably not the highest of opponents in the NFL right now, but you're winning games without playing even close to what I feel like is the best, because you don't want those penalties to happen, especially in more of the bigger moments. And you saw a couple of those yesterday. Honestly, it was a little concerning that first drive when it was like a few penalties back. I was like, oh no, is this going to be that type of day? They were able to get around it. You throw a pick, you're still able to get around it. And that was just something we hadn't seen in previous years. It always felt like when those things happened, everything unraveled. And so to me, that is a direct correlation to what this coaching staff has done, because they're not giving up on things. They're saying, okay, bad things, we're not going to play perfect games every week. Just go out there and win. And if you make a mistake, move on. You've got to continue and not let it kind of drag you down the rest of the game, which we saw so much last year. It just felt like one bad thing would happen and it would be 5 more after it. And you didn't see that yesterday.
So many 3 and outs last year. I mean, yes, the Jaguars had 1 yesterday, but so many last year that's where I feel like if you are facing adversity, you can't overcome it, because you can't get anything going. You can't get into the flow of the game. And that to me was the complete and total opposite yesterday. Yes, there are going to be times where things don't go exactly the way you want them to, where Trevor and maybe Travis Hunter didn't have the proper communication, or Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. didn't have proper communication. But yet your play calling, when you have a really good play caller, you can overcome those things because he knows exactly what to dial up at certain times. If you had one game ball to give away yesterday, would it have gone to Travis Etienne?
Oh, yeah.
Would it have gone to Foye Luakin?
I'm giving it to Etienne. That's my guy. I immediately was like, when the one long one, it was like 71 yards.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I'm talking. I'm like screaming at the TV because I was like, this is what I've wanted to see from Travis Etienne for so long. And it's just beautiful to watch a coach bring out that player that you have. You've seen it out of you've seen it out of Etienne. You've talked about the moments and the glimpses of Trevor, and he's bringing all of the positive things out of these players that it's there. And even defensively, when you talk about what Coach Camp's done too in such a short amount of time, when it comes to what a hot mess disaster this team was last year, if you put that defense yesterday, because I honestly thought Bryce Young looked pretty good. I think that there were moments still, he's learning, he's growing. There's a lot of developmental things that I think he has to do. But he looked comfortable to me, and that was an issue last year. There were a lot of moments where it just looked like he didn't belong out there, and he was taking his time. He was getting rid of the ball when he needed to. He wasn't taking bad sacks. I think he only got sacked 1 time, technically. I know there was a lot of pressures, but I think that there's positive things that you can take out of that. the defense last year was playing this Panthers team, I think it would have been a way closer game. And that to me shows how quickly Coach Camp has kind of taken over. And you see it with the rotations that were happening and how functional it all looked. Tyson Campbell looked like the Tyson Campbell had been hoping. And all the guys, or several of the guys that they brought in the free agency too, all made plays. You're talking about a Jordan Lewis. You're talking about Eric Murray. You're talking about all these guys that came in that made impactful plays yesterday and early on. And that's all you can ask for in week 1.
Yeah, I don't think Bryce Young looked. I'll disagree in as far as I didn't think he looked comfortable. Mainly going back to that 1 4th down play where, I mean, you got to keep the ball in bounds. Like, he just sailed it out of the back of the end zone or the side of the end zone. And it's like, bro, you don't have another opportunity. That was your opportunity. And
I see Trevor do that too. And I'm like, Bryce is he's like way earlier in the stages of this. And this is PFF, and PFF doesn't mean everything. But he had a higher PFF score than Trevor Lawrence, actually, when it comes to that. And so they break down all the intricate things. I don't think that means everything. There were bad moments and good moments. But for me, I feel like especially, I mean, he got benched a little over a year ago. And so I think that he's developing into a better one. A lot of improvement still, but I feel like you're talking about a quarterback who had a lot of things to work on. And to me, I just felt like, there were uncomfortable moments. I just think, especially early on, that first drive, I was like, oh, he looks like he is in control of this offense. And it's something that we've talked about, the offensive line. They're missing one of their best offensive linemen in Ike Ekwonu, and they were still able to get through that. So I just think that you give him credit to where it is, but they obviously want to see more points on the board, and that's what matters at the end of the day. But they were better on third downs. Like, some of those things you look at a little bit.
Yeah, I think if I was a Panthers fan, I'd say I need to focus on a new quarterback at some point in time. Like, there needs to be someone else under helm or under center there and taking over that helm. But at the end of the day, the Panthers have to basically just completely, I would say, not focus on everything that went wrong yesterday. I mean, obviously they want to work on some things, but I feel like they almost need a totally new game plan for what they have moving forward. They've got to get the ball way more to Xavier Legette and Tet McMillan. Yeah. I just feel like they do have some weapons, but at least to me, whatever they came up with, it seemed
wasn't working.
Yeah, it seemed to completely fall apart. All right, we have a new feature on the other side called Lauren's Lane, driven by Mazda at the Avenues. Tell you all about that and more. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tower Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. It's 10 to next on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, provided by Green Law Group.
Childhood cancer does not discriminate, and 43 children are diagnosed every day in the United States. This is Tom Coughlin, and the J Fund needs your help year-round. Find out how you can help the J Fund by visiting tcjfund.org.
Big Chief Tire is always looking for ways to better serve the Jacksonville community we call home. Frank Frangie here. Starting Monday, June 16th, they're opening their 6th shop location in Mandarin, providing more Jacksonville residents with a locally owned auto repair business they can trust. Visit the new shop on San Jose Boulevard today for all your vehicle needs, including brake repair, new tires, and more. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks with over 1,600 5-star Google reviews. It was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. And they are coming this week to transform our 3 closets. They can create custom storage solutions for you, for every space, lifestyle, and budget, from closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization like they're going to do for us. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation, but only until September 30th. 18 months financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or find them online, closetsbydesign.com.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags!
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big... Whoa!
See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a slip and slide gone wrong? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in...
Coen Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is JJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Coen Flowers, they'll do it all.
Costs are here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. And now Tom McManus, not so much a guest, but definitely a co-host just up in Boston, joins us now. Tom, happy Victory Monday.
Oh, what a great day it is, guys. What a great day it is. Sorry not to be with you, but up here on Cape Cod for a very great cause honoring our disabled and homeless veterans of Cape Cod. So it's been a great trip so far. But what a great victory yesterday, no doubt about it.
Tommy, we've obviously discussed it a lot today of what stood out, the positives, because there were a lot of positives. And I know we've been having the people on the text line be like, it's a crappy team, blah, blah, blah. But they played well, and there was a lot of boxes that you can start checking off of things that we'd all hope we'd start seeing by week one. What stood out to you the most in this win?
Well, first of all, Carolina's got some good players. I mean, I know Bryce Young struggled yesterday, but he showed that he could probably become a pretty decent player. Hubbard's a good running back. I mean, he didn't do that much damage to us, but on a few runs he got some things going. And Ted McMillan, that kid showed that he could play, and their defense did pretty decently. Look, we have room to improve, but at third down, things like that, especially on defense. Carolina was 8 of 15, I think, on third down. So we gotta get that a little bit better. I thought Trevor played well enough. He didn't play great, but he played well enough. Etienne was awesome. He was just incredible. So to me, the MVP goes to the offensive line. They really played a great game, man. They were physical. They were getting after it. They kept their quarterback clean. I think he was hit maybe once. Other than that, he was absolutely kept clean. So they did a fantastic job. I think defensively, look, those takeaways, I mean, we already cut our, total in half, better than half, from a year ago. So, they're on the right path. So, look, you can say what you want about Carolina. We'll see how the year finishes for them. Do I think they're a great team? No, I do not think they're a great team. But they do have some pretty darn good players. So it's not like, you're playing some high school team like some university did a couple weeks ago. So it's still, it's competitive. But look, they handled them the way you're supposed to handle a team like that. They took care of business. There was a lull in the third quarter, and I think people are probably like, yeah, but the third quarter, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's valid. But overall, it was a great first win. Great first win for Liam Coen, for Gladstone, for Baselli, for Shad Khan. I know everybody's excited, all the players, the fans. Look, you can't. All you can do is play who's out there. And the way they took care of business yesterday left me thinking, like, look, man, this team looks pretty darn good. They're not there yet, but I feel very confident going into Cincinnati. I'll tell you that much.
Tom, since you were referring to Long Island University, I'll have you know that Long Island and the Sharks beat Eastern Michigan this past weekend. So take that, everybody who said they were high school team.
That's huge.
But I could not stand right over here and talk anything positive about the University of Florida right now. So let's move back to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we certainly were wondering if the offensive line was improved. I think we got an emphatic yes, at least so far. The interior, the defensive line, we had question marks on, and then the secondary. And I thought all three of those units played pretty well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do want to go look, and I haven't been able to look at the replay. I'll do that when I get home tomorrow night or early Wednesday before the show. I felt like there was a period where their offensive line was winning the line of scrimmage. A few plays here. It was more running plays than anything. But then we tightened it up, and we got a little bit better. Again, we weren't as good on third down. You got to get off the field, right, which means you get the ball back to your offense, and they have more opportunity to put points on the board. But overall, they were good. Listen, for the first game, look, they shut them down as far as, run game, pass game. They didn't have many yards. There wasn't really a big threat to them. I thought overall the defense really stood out. They've got, I want to see more blitzes. I love Wingard, what he did with that intercept. Too bad it got called back, but it just shows you that, he very well deserving of the starting job and what he's bringing to the table. But yeah, I give him a B+, the whole team, from coaching staff to players to everything. It was a good win, a much needed win just to get off on the right foot, and just in front of the home crowd, and very first game for everybody, as I've aforementioned. So I think overall it was good. Now, you got to keep it in perspective, right? So that's the other side of it. It's not like, oh, we're on our way to the Super Bowl. Wait, maybe. I'm not saying we're not, but at the same time, you keep it in perspective. Look, they have some good players in Carolina, but overall, they're not ready as a team. They're not there yet, and we're a better team than them, and we showed it. We showed it enough. Could it have been better? Absolutely. And by the way, it would have been better if Wingard's thing didn't get called back, so that would have been another 6 points. We'd probably been like, oh, wow, we beat them by 34-10 or whatever it ends up being. So I think for a first game, I think they did what they had to do. Can it be better? Yes, they all know it. And what's a beautiful thing about critique, when you win, you handle critique in stride, and you're ready to make yourself better. So I'd expect them to be even better as they go to Cincinnati in week 2.
Tommy, what did you think about the linebackers? Obviously, Foye playing every snap. Defensively, Lloyd and Miller pretty even when it comes to their time and kind of how they rotated them out. But what did you think about the linebackers in general?
Well, I think Foye just had a phenomenal game.
Mm-hmm.
I tweeted right after the pick, I said, that's why you run to the ball. And that's instilled in them. That had to be instilled in them from the coach. And just inside that locker room, hey, we're going to be those guys that don't stop running to the football, because good things can happen, and it showed. If he wasn't hustling on that play, he probably doesn't make that interception. He was all over the field. He had a forced fumble as well. I thought overall the linebackers played well. I mean, again, look, Carolina's offensive line isn't bad. I mean, they're not one of the best in the league, but I think they only gave up 36 sacks last year. Hubbard had a big year last year at 5.2 yards a carry, so they did their job there. But overall, I think if you had to say who won the line of scrimmage, I would say that the Jacksonville Jaguars won the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Was it where it's so obvious? No, maybe not. But overall, if you package it together and you saw it on film, like I'm going to do, like yeah, they won the line of scrimmage. You could see that. For a while, I thought Carolina was, to be honest with you. Like I said earlier, I thought their O-line was pushing them a little bit, but they shorted up and got it done. And I think overall, it's very positive win, and we move forward to going to the Bengals.
A win is a win is a win. That's all I have to say. Tom, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, look, and you're right. You're absolutely right. But it wasn't like they won 13-10.
Right.
They took care of them. They took care of them. Could have they done a little bit better? Sure, they could have. At the end of the day, they did what they had to do, and they beat that team pretty handily, if you look at it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate your time. You have a safe travel day back tomorrow. Hopefully no delays.
I'm talking to Boston College's football team tomorrow. Going to go watch practice,
nice.
and then I'm speaking to the team, and then got a few hours before I head home, and I'll be looking forward to getting back to Duval, baby, and celebrate that great victory yesterday.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You too. By the way, I walked by, didn't realize who it was in the moment, but walked by Luke Kuechly in the press box yesterday.
Oh, did you?
And it didn't occur to me until it was too late.
He does look smaller. I saw a picture recently, or maybe it was a video I saw, and I'm like, he looks little. It's quick. It's wild when you're not playing, I guess, how quickly that changes. We know with Baselli, similar.
Absolutely.
Looks like a different person sometimes.
Yeah, so we audible to get to talk to Tom. We weren't sure if we were going to have time or if he was going to have time for us out there playing, or up there, I should say, playing golf in Cape Cod. So on the other side, Lauren's Lane awaits, as well as the cool down. One segment to go. It's 10 to next on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Bought for you by Queen Law Group on 1010XL. Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence, along with the Teal and Black, didn't delay their offense Sunday. They just rained pain upon the opposition. Lawrence led the squad on an 8-play, 35-yard drive in the second quarter, capped off by a Hunter-Long 6-yard score to give the team a 10-3 advantage. The 4-minute drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
It's time to elevate your back-to-school style with luxury and a brand-new Cadillac.
Discover the 2025 Luxury XT6, a spacious 7-seat SUV starting at just $49,195. Perfect for carpooling or weekend adventures.
That's right, or step up your game with the stunning 2026 Vistique, Escalade, and Escalade IQ.
I want to go back to school in style.
You can. Visit us at Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville. This school year, it's all about style.
Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. When deciding what lawyer to trust with your car accident or injury case, the most reliable way is reviews and results. You want to be treated well, and you want a great result. Woolsey Morecambe's reviews speak for themselves, and I challenge any firm to compare results. We offer the resources of a large law firm and the customer service of a boutique practice. If you want to be treated right and want great results, call Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY and take the fear out of the fight. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval, and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right, both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through September 30th. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Jacksonville was built on specialists.
We be special.
Now the Special Teams Player of the Week, sealed by Superior Plumbing and Pipeline.
Cam Little was huge on Sunday for the good guys. The 22-year-old was perfect on both his field goals as well as his extra point attempts, with his longest field goal being from 47 yards out. Little showed why he was the big cat on campus, and he's your Superior Plumbing and Pipelining Special Teams Player of the Game.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
On game day, you trust your team. On storm day, trust the people's roofer, Morgan Conley Roofing. Born here, built here, staying here. MorganConleyRoofing.org. License number CCC 1333544.
Florida Heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Well, it doesn't look like the New York Giants are getting better anytime soon. I'm not quite sure Brian Daboll makes it through this year, honestly, if things keep going
He might
this
not
way.
make it through week 2.
I don't know. If you did not see that, the Commanders beat them 21-6. But the bigger storyline to me is the interactions between Brian Daboll and Malik Neighbors during this game. There was a lot of clips of them getting into it on the sideline, getting into it on the huddle. They asked today, too, about Russell Wilson, and they were like, is Russell Wilson your quarterback in week 2? And I was like, if you have to ask the coach in week 2 if the quarterback is still going to be the quarterback, you have some major problems. And so it's just one of those things where we were talking about a little off air, Lauren. It's not easy to find a good coach. It's really not. It's not easy to find good play callers. The Lions saw that in week 1. We'll see if they are able to adjust and get around that. But their offense looks different, and their defense looks different, and they lost both play callers on each side of the ball. So it's difficult. We know here what it looks like with coaches and how, in college football wise and the NFL, of how difficult it is to find guys who can be successful and for longer periods of time. Brian Daboll was one of the guys that was in the running. Did he end up winning Coach of the Year that year? Yeah, he won Coach of the Year. That's how quickly things can change.
For sure.
And we're talking about Mike McDaniel in Miami and how quickly that storyline changed. So it's not easy. So when you feel like you have your coach, and especially I think the lucky part here is Liam Coen is the play caller. So you don't have to worry about your play caller getting poached on the offensive side of the ball, which is definitely a positive because I know it's a little more work for Liam Coen, but at the same time, that's at least something you don't have to worry about. And in Detroit, that's something they've had to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's why I picked the Packers over the Lions last week, because I was like, 2 new offensive and defensive coordinators are gone, and the Packers have much more consistency, plus adding Micah Parsons, and certainly he played in limited
I think they were
reps,
okay. I think the Lions were so bad. Like, I didn't see them where I was like, oh, this was a fantastic game. But again, that's just what the Packers do. And Matt LaFleur is one of the better coaches and play callers in the NFL. So,
all right, time now for Lauren's Lane, driven by Mazda at the Avenues. This is luxury. This is Mazda at the Avenues. Purchase any new Mazda. Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or payments for 1 year. Don't wait. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047. What comes into Lauren's Lane is anything that I feel like discussing. And today it's going to be the snarkiness that's going on in both college football and in the NFL. You start with Bill Belichick saying that the Patriots are not welcome at North Carolina because he's not welcome there. Then Vrabel comes out and says, actually, that's not true at all. Bill Belichick is welcome here in Foxborough. And then Aaron Rodgers last night after the Steelers beat the Jets.
You spoke about the meeting with Aaron Glenn on McAfee a few months ago. Beating him, is there significance in that, since he basically told you to your face that he didn't think you were right for that team?
Yes, that's what he did.
So there's significance in beating him for you?
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets.
Oh, yeah. That's
can't
Aaron
say
Rodgers
that.
for you. Happy to beat everyone associated with the Jets. Obviously, he was on the Steelers a year ago. Things didn't go all that well. And then, he was on the Jets a year ago, now beat the Jets with the Steelers. And Jalen Ramsey made a big play.
That was a
Garrett Wilson.
hard hit.
Yeah,
Like,
big,
whew.
big hit. All right, let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Depression on Saturday for me, Hayes, as we went to the swamp and witnessed that in person. But then euphoria yesterday, at least at the bank.
Yeah, and that's going to be a little Jekyll and Hyde on the Frangie Show coming up as well, because we will certainly get into the Jaguars win. We'll start things off with that impressive performance. So lots of good there, and then we'll get to the obituary of Billy Napier's coaching career in Gainesville, at least. So
deja vu a little bit
it does
with
feel
that.
like it.
I will say it would now take what he did last year times 10 in terms of a career resurrection here for him to. I mean, look, the good news for Napier is this. The math is still with you because they're not going to fire him until he loses 4 more games. So the math is on his side. And he's got a lot of opportunities for signature wins.
For sure.
I don't anticipate him getting many of them, if any. But he does have the opportunity to change the perception. So he's dug himself out once. I don't believe he'll do it again. I don't believe it'll even be a conversation that he'll do it again. I think Florida unofficially started the search today. But at least we got the Jaguars. We've got Liam Coen and the boys, and there was lots of impressive stuff. I thought from Liam and the players yesterday. So again, it's Carolina, and they looked awful. So Carolina, maybe they won 5 last year. They may not even get to that this year, but still a great start for the Jaguars. And now let's go to Cincy, get a win, be 2-0, and really put this league on notice.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing for sure. All right, thanks, Hayes.
Yeah, and Bucky Brooks at 5:15 with Frank.
All right,
thanks so much.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bucky, of course, on all the broadcasts along with Frank and Jeff. Yeah, to Hayes' point, the win yesterday was a massive lift for the city. Even if your team won on Saturday.
I wouldn't have wanted to see you today. I will, because I saw Napier's 20-20 at his time in Florida. And I remember us talking last week when we were talking about the storming the field by the Knowles, and Gator fans were like, we have higher expectations. I don't know. I mean, you're 20-20, and I feel like I don't know how much longer you can let that live if your standards are higher as a program.
Well, the fans would have fired him last year.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
Yeah, the storming
but as
of
a
the
program,
field,
I'm saying.
Yeah, the storming of the field standard to me is more, that's just something that you do if you're an App State and you beat Michigan, in my mind. Or, if USF had beaten Florida at home, obviously, you rush the field. But, I don't think Notre Dame should ever rush the field, even if they beat a number 1 team, or an Oklahoma or Michigan. It doesn't matter, any of those blue blood type of programs. But that's just me. All right, that'll do it for us today. We appreciate Tom McManus joining us by phone for a little bit, and Aaron Beasley sitting in with us in studio today. For RJ Saunders, for Taylor Dahl, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show, talking all things Jags and Gators.